Hey guys, Mrs. Jess Outdoors here. So today we're going to be making a super easy Swiss steak in the cast iron Dutch oven. What I did is I went out and I bought some round steaks. To get them ready, I'm going to be grinding some sea salt and fresh pepper and rubbing that into the steaks. While I do this, I have olive oil heating up in the bottom of my Dutch oven so that once these guys have all the salt and pepper on them, I can go ahead and sear them. What searing does is it helps lock in the beef flavor when you cook it. So I will show you guys what it looks like to sear here shortly. Alright guys, so what I'm doing right now is I am searing the round steak. I put olive oil in the bottom of the cast iron pot. They're all salted and peppered and rubbed in. Searing, like I said, just locks in your beef flavor while it cooks. And to sear it, you just pretty much are browning it on the sides, like that. You're not trying to cook it all the way through. You're just giving the outside a little bit of a cook. Trying to get the sides here a little bit. Okay. Let me get set for another minute here. I already have two done. My family are very much carnivores, so I'm doing a lot of meat today. All right, that looks pretty good. So next, what we're gonna wanna do is let these guys sit aside for a few minutes, and we are going to pop our onions right into the same Dutch oven. Turn up the heat a little bit, add a touch more olive oil, and I'm going to cook these down. Once these are cooked down a little bit, I'll come back with you and show you what else we're gonna add. All right, so the next thing I'm going to add while I'm cooking up these onions, I'm going to put a bunch of mushrooms. Matt loves mushrooms, I like mushrooms. So we're just gonna pop these guys in there and cook them down with our onion. Probably put a little bit more olive oil in there. And we're gonna get these all softened up so that they're just lower in the pot. And then we'll add the rest of our fixins. Be back in just a few minutes. Okay. So we have the mushrooms and the onion cooked down quite a bit. See how much lower in the pan they are? So it's not going to overflow. Next thing I'm going to do is add in some minced garlic. Scrape that in there. Some beef better than bouillon, which I know I've talked to you guys about before. And some Worcestershire. That all mixed in there. That smells excellent. It's going to be so good. Okay, now what makes this really easy is next I'm going to use 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup. And goes the first. Okay. One more. Now while I've been doing all of this, I preheated the oven to 325. And this is going to cook with the cover on at 325 for approximately 2 hours. I don't really need to add any water to this right now because there's so much moisture that came out of the mushrooms when I cook them that there's a ton of liquid in there, plus the Worcestershire. So next, I just want to add a little bit of pepper. Fresh ground pepper, And that's pretty much what I use for my spices in this. And then I'm going to add a little bit of fresh ground sea salt. And we can always add more as we go along. Here we go, get it all nice and mixed up. Smells great. And then the very last thing to do at this point is to take our steaks, round steaks, and tuck them in there, like that. Get them in there deep with all that gravy. And these are going to have juice coming out of them too, so they'll be adding liquid. All right, so the last thing to do at this point is just plunk our cover on, turn off our burner, and put it in the oven for 2 hours at 325. I'll check in with you guys then. Hey guys, so I went ahead, it's been about 2 hours. I pulled the Swiss steak out of the oven. You want to come on over, have a look. I did add a little bit of water to it because it was a little thick. I also just moved the steaks that I had in there around. I rotated them so they cook evenly. They're definitely starting to get there. I add a little bit more pepper to it, and that is going to be such good gravy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just pop the cover back on this, put it in. I'm going to bump it up to 350, put it in for another 2 hours. Tonight with this meal, we're going to pair it with baked potatoes and corn and homemade white bread. So I will show you guys when it's all said and done, when we get it out of the oven, and see how it turns out. Talk to you in a bit. All right, so this has been in the oven for about an hour and a half. I took it out half an hour early because I went ahead and had a look at it. And this Swiss steak is absolutely perfect. The way you know, first of all, the gravy is nice and thick. That is going to go beautifully over our baked potatoes. Look at that. Falls right apart with a fork. That is the absolute perfect Swiss steak. So that's our video for tonight. That's what the Jess family's having for dinner. We hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Take it easy.